A lot of people are getting fired for nasty comments. Now, guys, this video is in regards to, obviously, yet again, the Charlie Kirk situation where you have a lot of people making heinous comments or just negative comments about the situation. Now, I'm not going to talk about the evil or evility, that's not even a word, of people. We're going to talk about why so many people are in shock about being fired from their job after making some comments. Now, there's been some negative comments out there where they weren't that bad. They just said, I didn't care that he was murdered. It's not my problem. And some people still got fired. I think that's a little too far. They're expressing their God-given, or rather their constitutional rights to express their opinion on the matter, which I think everybody should be able to do without fear of losing their job. But when you start talking about violence, when you start talking about taking other people out, that's another avenue that needs to be addressed, and it is being addressed. Now, for both parties, I'm going to take the nonviolent and the violent comments together. For both parties, the reason why a lot of people get fired, and I forgot this part last week when I spoke about it on my Angry Truths channel, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was Angry Prepper live streams, one of the live streams, and I talked about people getting fired. You can say what you want, and yes, you are somewhat, you can somewhat be protected under the First Amendment if you make simple comments. Once you start commenting about violence, then you're out. You already lost. Now, the reason why you're going to lose, and the First Amendment can't protect you, because you signed a contract when you came onto that job. When you walked into whatever job you're working, you signed a contract on a lot of rules that you're supposed to follow that your job put forth in front of you. They put this paper on the desk. They tell you to read through it. 90% of the people do not read through that contract. They just sign it because they were happy to get a job. But in that contract, there is a policy that probably, again, even people who signed the contract skip right over. And it's a social media policy, because there are people that go, well, I don't need to read this because, well, it doesn't pertain to me. Either I don't have social media at the time they took the job, or they're not as active at the time they took the job, but they had social media. So now, a few years later, a situation like this happens, and then you go out there and you start making fun of the way he passed away. You're like, look at this nigga, exploded like a faucet, and all this other bullshit, and then slow motioning it down and doing reenactments and shaking on the ground and all this crazy shit that I'm watching people do. Now, you signed this policy, you skipped over it, so you weren't aware of it. But almost every job, especially corporations and city agencies, have something called a social media policy. And in a lot of social media policy, for roundabout ways, if you do anything to make the company look bad, again, I'm in a roundabout way I'm stating this, make the company look bad or the agency look bad, they have the right to get rid of you. So a lot of people are not understanding that part as to why they're getting fired. Because then they're doing reaction videos, reacting to themselves getting fired, and they're sitting there going, I don't know what I said. It was just a simple comment. Meanwhile, if you go back to the original video, it wasn't a simple comment. It was a heinous comment. But because liberals do not know how to take accountability, this is where we are. Now, again, this is not stating, guys, like whether the left is responsible or the right is responsible. That's not this video. This video is trying to make the retards understand why they got fired. And a lot of them, when they got fired, they realized, oh my God, the social media policy. I skipped right over it. Now, I, more than others, know about the social media policy because I've been in trouble at my job a few times. Believe it or not, certain agencies have a social media desk, if you will, and they watch people like me. All right, so fuck you dudes if you're watching this. And they watch people like me, and they make sure you don't say any negative comments about the agency or the job. In fact, I was able to say what I wanted to about the mayor, but once I attacked the commissioner, of the job, I got in trouble. So, and actually, I got a slap in the dick, and I didn't heed to that warning, and then I got in trouble. Nonetheless, if you are a high profile, and I hate to say this, high profile talking head on your job, they're watching you. And again, most of these places, most of the agencies and corporations have this in their buildings, excuse me. So there's an office, and it's probably like 2 or 3 people, and they might watch what you're saying every day. Some days they're not, some days they are, but it all depends. Like right now, if I went on a full frontal attack on the commissioner that's currently occupying the position of the FDNY commissioner, they can, and I said some negative shit about him, they can come after me or give me a warning, whatever the fuck they're going to do. You have to understand, once you violate that policy, the job or the agency can separate from you. They can be like, kick rocks, fuck out. And now you're sitting there doing a reaction video. I lost my job. Can somebody please give me some money, Cash App? You know, like that kind of bullshit. Yeah, man, that's where it leads. So for those that don't understand why they got fired, it was the social media policy paragraph you probably skipped over when you signed up for the job. But most people aren't aware of it. Now, there are social media policies that were in place when people didn't sign it. And a lot of people, if they didn't sign the original employment contract and it wasn't in there, could they fire you? I don't think so. Because you never agreed to that. They can make you aware of it, which a lot of companies are doing. They're making their employees aware of a social media policy, and they're having you watch this video, right? They pull you offline for like an hour, and they watch the social media policy video, and then they have you sign something to stick into your contract. But if they never did that, you might have an out. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.